Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Reynolds and I'd like to welcome you to English 6540 Computers and Composition. For those of you who need to contact me, the very best way to get in touch with me is through email. My email is reynoldst@nsula.edu. You'll find that at the top of the page and in the syllabus. You'll also find my phone number there. I am the director of the Louisiana Scholars College here at NSU, which is our honors college. So my schedule is unpredictable, to say the least. But I'm happy to make appointments with you, schedule a meeting where we meet online via Skype or WebEx or Zoom or whatever works for you. Okay, so definitely be in touch if you need anything. This class will focus on the many meeting places between technology and writing instruction and professional writing in the writing world, whatever that looks like for you. It's going to be very different depending on what you're interested in doing in your future career. If you see yourself as a technical writer, you're probably already very much involved in those technological aspects of creating documents, videos, slideshows, whatever, right? Very kind of simple versions of what we mean when we talk about internet or technology-based writing. But even doing more multimodal things, actually composing directly through the technology rather than sketching things out first. And we'll be talking more and more about that kind of compositional process and how that might interact with professional writing. But we'll also talk about what it looks like to have multimedia and multimodal writing in the classroom. So when we're teaching writing, how does that change the ways in which students understand writing, right? Because they all carry around their phones now. Mobile technology has really changed the way we communicate, and that changes then the way we talk about and teach about writing. Beyond that, we'll look at ourselves as members of digital worlds or digital communities in which we write, in which we read. My dissertation, for example, examined 3 different wiki sites, Wikipedia being the largest, to look at the ways in which writers and readers actually use those texts. That's something we can do, right, with a variety of different technologies, different digital communities, because the ways in which communities utilize these technologies can be vastly different depending on their purposes, okay? Computers and writing, or computers and composition, is also a subfield, an official subfield of the field of composition studies. Composition studies, very simply, is the study of how to teach writing. And so computers and composition in this perspective is a subfield. I'm really interested in how the computer technologies, and really all digital technologies now that the computer is kind of being surpassed by mobile devices that have computers in them. So how do these new technologies continue to challenge the ways we understand writing and we understand the teaching of writing? So we'll look at the relationship between computer technologies and writing studies, right? So that talks not only about like the practice of actually doing stuff and the pedagogy of actually teaching it, but also the theory, right? Because as we change the way we think about writing, we can change the way we can theorize it, what it is and what it does. You'll come to understand the subfield of computers and writing as a complex and contested concept, right? Where there are different trends, just like there are in any academic field, and those trends are often conflicting, right? We develop these communities where people are arguing around key topics. These are things we'll look at. Understand the connections between rhetorical theory and new media technologies. New media being all these digital forms of writing or digital forms of composition, right? Through new media being that digital, right? So, and rhetorical theory, right? That classical idea of thinking about audience, author, purpose, the rhetorical situation, the context of communication, all those things. Understand connections between composition theory and practice and new media technology. So how does the larger field of composition studies talk about writing, and how do digital technologies affect that? Understand computers and writing as a subfield that arose in response to computer-based, network-based, and most recently internet-based technologies that make use of and affect writing in various ways, right? So one of the big changes that comes with online writing is that connectivity and that interactivity, right? So traditionally you had a book, You opened that book, you read it, you never knew the author. It was very difficult to communicate to the author, right? You could send them a letter perhaps about what you thought about their book, but they didn't necessarily respond. And if they did respond, it would be months later. On the internet, of course, think about Facebook. You throw a post up there and people can like it and love it, and people can comment on it and you can respond to those comments. People can hit Messenger and send you a direct message, or even call you a face call with you through Messenger, right? Something that simple is that interactive and connects so many people immediately. This is a significant way to think about the ways in which technology change writing. And then, of course, understand key ideas relevant to the contemporary study of computers and writing. So we're going to start off this semester by looking at the history of computers and composition, understand kind of the historical and theoretical foundation. So what do we talk about when we talk about computers and composition? What does that mean? We'll read some things that are historical pieces that look back at what's happened in the field and use those as a way to have conversations about more contemporary things that are going on. And our second module will be about current issues in computers and composition. You'll play with some technologies throughout the course. And by our third module, we'll talk about conducting your own research. We'll be talking about that along the way, right? But you'll be finishing up your own research and thinking about your own professional online identity, right? Because we all know if you look for a job, a lot of that is digital nowadays. And even if the applications aren't digital, people are probably researching you online. So definitely take a look at the syllabus. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. In the general discussion forum, you'll see a place that says course introductions and off-topic discussions. Please go and introduce yourself. I think it's helpful for your classmates to get to know you, and hopefully we'll also kind of build a habit of posting things that we just want to share with our classmates. So say you found a really good article and you want to share it, you think, hey, this would be great for a lot of people, pop it up there. It's a place where you can share information. There's also a forum for course questions, but if you need an immediate response, definitely email me directly. Course questions, though, of course, could be answered by your classmates. In week one, we'll just kind of be getting a feel for the class and some of the ideas in the course. There are a couple of articles and videos to introduce kind of big ideas that we'll reference throughout the class. You should be prepared to read quite a bit towards the beginning of the class and a little bit lighter at the end, because in the beginning we need to set that theoretical foundation, and by the end you're working on your own research. So you have a lot of other reading you have to do outside of class. So I try to balance it in that way, but prepare yourself. Okay, so a couple of the videos, just a quick note, a couple of the videos that you'll watch in week one are a little bit dated. And that's just because they're really good videos, and there hasn't been a better video that capture the spirit of what they talk about that I'm familiar with. So if you find something, definitely share it back to me so I can continue to improve this course and my own work. All right, it's great to meet you all. Dr. Thomas Reynolds. I will see you next week.